Went on Anders Lee going back into the lineup after being out earlier this week due to illness, but J.G. Pageau has taken his place. He is sick tonight, will not be playing. Kiefer Bellows will slide down to the third line. Zach Parise will center that third line. For more on tonight's matchup with the Blue Jackets, let's welcome in Brendan Burke and Butch Goring. Hey guys, I just want to let you know, our producer said when the cannon goes off, you might not hear him, but you're going to talk about the goaltending matchup out of the next break, okay?
Butchie's on high alert. Always in Columbus, Butchie is on high alert for that cannon. We're happy to be back on the road. We're happy to be back in Columbus, but it's down there. It's lurking. Hopefully we don't hear it too many times tonight. Thank you, Shannon. Brendan and Butch up here in the booth. Butch, the Islanders look more like themselves on Tuesday night in Chicago. Maybe Cal Clutterbuck said it best. Not a whole game, but a step in the right direction.
Yeah, they certainly took a couple of real good steps, and one is they play with a lot more energy. They play with a lot more focus, particularly on defense. But as AJ mentioned, in their own zone, they still weren't where they need to be. Too many shots in the slot area, too much time in the defensive zone, so they have to be a little bit better in that area. But I like their effort. They seem to be a lot more focused. Matt Martin was back, seemed to really help them.
They got better as the game went along, and one of the reasons they didn't have to chase the game, the reason they didn't have to chase the game, was Ilya Sorokin. He was fantastic on Tuesday. A bounce-back game for him. He allowed 10 goals in his first two starts, came within 26 seconds of a shutout on Tuesday.
Well, you can imagine his confidence might have been a little bit fragile. Ready to go right off the bat. He knew that he could play better along with his teammates, and he was nothing short of sensational. I made several good saves. What I liked most about him, Brendan, is that he was calm, he was cool. There wasn't a lot of wasted movement. He just seemed to be a little bit more set in his way. He was square to the shooter. He read the play well. He tracked it extremely well, took care of his rebounds, made big saves when he needed to, but you can just see that he's in total control of the game. This is a game changer right here, and he just outweighted the brink, and he never moved. So a real big bounce-back game for him, and the team needed not only him to play his best, but they also had to pick it up.
As Shannon mentioned, Anders Lee missed Tuesday's game with an illness. J.G. Pageau will miss tonight's game with an illness. On Tuesday, it was Oliver Wahlstrom stepping up with J.G. Pageau, made the difference in the game.
Well, we've been talking about the chemistry of that third line, if you will, and Pageau, Parise, and Wahlstrom certainly had a great game, and I think it's Wahlstrom's best game as a pro. I mean, he was hungry. He had his feet moving. He was putting himself in position to get shots away. He was in on the forecheck. He was physical when he needed to be. He just had a tremendous game. He helped, didn't quite get an assist on Beauvillier's goal. A man alive was he sharp. Good solid move. You can see the poise, the control, and of course the quick release as he scores that goal. And then again, in the slot area, stays right with it. So Pageau says, hey, I know all about this guy. I know what he wants to do. My job as the centerman to get that puck to him, and he certainly did. And I think I'm still here.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We're back in Columbus. That's the good thing. It's been a long time since they've seen each other. And this Blue Jackets team looks very different than the last time the Islanders saw them. Patrick Laine is now a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets, coming over from Winnipeg. Didn't exactly have the debut season he was looking for last year. But now he's playing on a line with the newly minted captain Boone Jenner and Jake Voracek back from Philadelphia.
And this has to be their line. This is a very young team, the youngest in the National Hockey League. And Voracek, Jenner, and Laine have to produce. They have to bring offense. Laine, we all know, can score goals. He was a big-time goal scorer with the Jets. Certainly Voracek is a tremendous skater, a good hard worker. And Boone Jenner is the captain, newly appointed. So you know what kind of a guy he is. He's a character individual. So these three guys and that combination have got to produce.
Blue Jackets are off to a 2-1 start. The Islanders off to a 1-2 start. This is stop 4 of their 13-game road trip, but a chance to get back to 500 here tonight before they head west for games in Arizona and Vegas. We're coming up on Puck Drop here at Nationwide Arena in Columbus. The Columbus skyline on a beautiful October night, getting set for the Islanders and the Blue Jackets inside Nationwide Arena. Opening week presented by Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Islanders 1-2, the Blue Jackets 2-1, fourth game of the season for both tonight's goaltending. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today and get behind the wheel of the Audi model you've always wanted. It's been Sorokin every game so far this season, still awaiting the healthy return of Semyon Varlamov. He'll go up against Elvis Merzlikins today. Merzlikins made the first two starts of the year, both wins for Columbus. He did not play in their 4-1 loss to Detroit on Tuesday. And so Barry Trotz saw some encouraging signs from his team on Tuesday in Chicago, hoping for another step here tonight against a Metropolitan Division rival in the Columbus Blue Jackets. Next two games will be out west against the Pacific Division in Arizona and Vegas. Cizikas, Martin, Clutterbuck to start. Zdeno Chara with a sneaky shot that got in on Merzlikins, and he got it with the right leg pad.
Good opening save for Merzlikins, and Chara, who can wire that puck. Had a nice play from Casey Cizikas, and Matt Martin was in front of the net providing the screen. So good start for the Islanders. And Merzlikins had to be sharp on that opening shot.
Ryan Pulock sends that one ahead. Anders Lee, they say, did not get a piece of it, so it turns into an icing against New York. Shake up on the D pairs, Butch, tonight for the Islanders. We've seen Pelech and Pulock together, every game for the last few years? Not tonight.
Yeah, and I think Barry just wants to kind of look at a couple of different pairs, maybe just see if something else works a little better. I mean, it's no secret they have struggled in the first couple of games, particularly in their own zone. So, I mean, these guys, they've played with one another at different times, but a little shake-up and gives Barry just a little bit more to look at, and these guys will get comfortable pretty quickly.
Islanders able to win that defensive zone draw. Was gloved down at center ice, turns into a hand pass. And a break here in what is game number 4 for new Blue Jackets head coach Brad Larson, who spent 7 seasons as an assistant coach here in Columbus under both Todd Richards and John Tortorella. His only previous head coaching experience was in the American Hockey League, 2 years with the Springfield Falcons or Thunderbirds. I can't remember what they were back then. One of the two.
They were the Kings when I played.
There you go.
Springfield Kings.
Turnover, here's Jake Voracek into the slot, and line A shot is swallowed up by Sorokin.
Another good save by Sorokin, and that's really what he looked like the other night in Chicago. Just no extra movement, just gets himself squared away to the shooter. A little turnover there by Barzal, quick transition, and look at Liney in good position, but you can see how quickly Sorokin moves into position. He's at the top of the circle. I mean, he just has, and that's an easy save for him because he's in control, Brendan, and that's important.
Jack Roslovic to take the face-off against Brock Nelson on the defensive zone face-off win for the Islanders here, and they quickly come through center. Josh Bailey's pass was stolen away by Roslovic, handed on for Nyquist, and shot into the zone by Jake Bean. Came over from the Carolina Hurricanes in a trade during the offseason. There's Bean at the line, trying to shake away from Josh Bailey. Bean shovels it down the boards to Nyquist. Nyquist to Roslovic, right back to Nyquist. Gus Nyquist with a shot with a little traffic there with Yegor Chinakhov in his second NHL game parked in front. He's still there as this shot is blocked on the way.
Yeah, he was there all alone, so a little mix-up with the Islanders in front of their own net, which is, that's an area that they still haven't quite solved yet.
Adam Pelech came out of the corner, uses the middle of the ice, and Mayfield up but not out, kept in by Zach Werenski. Well, I think you'd term would be the face of this franchise here in Columbus. Werenski, their top defenseman, and he signed a nice 6-year, $57.5 million extension in July.
Well, that'll work, usually.
No Seth Jones here any longer. Werenski, someone played in his shadow here over the last few years, but Werenski is still here as he's gone to Chicago, has Jones. Deflected away by Noah Dobson.
Yeah, there's quite a number of new players here for the Blue Jackets. I'll try and get over, let some of the fans know who's disappeared from this organization.
Turned over on the way into the zone, thrown on net by Cole Sillinger. And then back out through center, Scott Harrington, while the Islanders make a change. Coughed up, but it comes to Cal Clutterbuck. Islanders coming off their first win of the season. It was a 4-1 victory in Chicago on Tuesday. They got 2 goals from Wahlstrom in that game, a goal from Cal Clutterbuck, and one from Anthony Beauvillier as well.
For the fans, Clutterbuck, that was in the toy department, Brendan. I've been waiting to say that for a while.
Yeah, we missed out on that one on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, they're going to lie to me today, I think.
This one jumps past Ryan Pollock, and hustling after it is Eric Robinson. He can skate. Pollock got twisted up. And this one right through the blue paint. And on the other side, it is Adam Boquist, the return in that Seth Jones deal from Chicago. Left side, Gavrikov to the front. That one is pushed wide by Sean Corrali. Making him newcomers, a UFA from the Boston Bruins. Corrali's an Ohio native. Dublin, Ohio. Played at Miami of Ohio. This one sent to the left side and a shot by Voracek. Save made by Sorokin. Glove down in the slot by Matt Martin. He gets it to center, and right off the bench it comes to Boone Jenner.
Able to make a wholesale change for the Islanders.
7 shot attempts already for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Just one attempt for the New York Islanders. It's on goal. So the shots are 3-1 in this game. So Columbus has had the puck for the majority here in the opening 4 minutes. This one ripped wide by Jenner, and it comes all the way back out to center.
And that's been a problem for the Islanders in their first 3 games, is they're just spending way too much time in the defensive zone. Hard to get offensive opportunities, because we've talked about on many occasions, Brendan.
There's Mayfield loading one up with some contact in front. A penalty coming here, I believe, to Palmieri, as Merzlikins got clipped. His mask had come off, and he is shaken up. But there will be a penalty called on the play against Kyle Palmieri.
Yeah, likely he was on top of the crease, but as I was mentioning, when you spend so much time in your own zone, Brendan, by the time you get out of there, you're tired and you have to change. And, you know what? Merzlikins is out above his crease there, Brendan. I mean, so that, well, he gets an elbow to him. Yeah, I mean, that's a good call. And
we have a minor penalty on the play. Islanders
at
number
first
21,
I thought he came out too far, but he didn't.
Goaltender interference.
And that's a good call on Palmieri.
Referees today, Chris Schlenker and Brandon Schrader. Linesmen are Derek Nansen and Lee Boris Huchanik. And so a power play here early on for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Power play that's been pretty good so far to start the season. 3 goals on their first 7 opportunities. But 1 for 4 on Tuesday in Detroit in their last game. Islanders get the face-off and get it cleared.
The number 1 penalty killers for the Islanders, Clutterbuck and Zizekas. Although Barry Trotz used quite a number of different penalty killers. Bo was out there, and Pajot was out there.
No J.G. Pajot tonight.
No, they'll miss him, as Barry Trotz is pretty adamant that he's been the most consistent player for the Islanders in these first 3 games.
It is a non-COVID related illness. As Voracek sends this one around, we imagine it's something similar, if not related to Anders Lee's illness that he missed Tuesday's game with. It was more stomach issues and not being able to eat and stay hydrated and all those things that you need to do to be able to play professional sports at a high level.
A little bit of food poisoning, perhaps.
Here's line after Nelson fell down, moving in, kicks it off to the corner. Bjorkstrand out high for Werenski. Zach Werenski, shadowed by Nelson. Back over for Voracek. Jake Voracek, raked wide, fired wide by Laine.
Oh boy, if he hits the net, it's probably in. I mean, that was a long ways for Sorokin to come. Beautiful pass by Voracek, and that's one thing that he can do very, very well on the power play, is make those seam passes. We watched him for a number of years in Philadelphia make those very same plays.
Laine, that shot was clocked at just under 80 miles an hour, so he was just trying to get it on net after that pass. Had some velocity on it. The pass did. That he was trying to get off the one-timer, and he got off a pretty good shot, just not on target.
It's not easy when you're at a tough angle to let that shot go hard. You've got to have it in the right spot. Obviously, he didn't quite have it there.
Final 10 seconds on the penalty to Palmieri as Pollock stops Sillinger from coming to the net. Nyquist out to the line. A dangerous play by Roslovic, but he's able to hold it in the zone. Pushed down by Boquist. Palmieri comes out. That shot comes in and a save made by Sorokin. Had to make 1 on the power play for Columbus and 1 right after.
Another save he made look real easy, just going from his left to right. He was in total control, made sure he had the 5-hole protected.
The Islanders survive the goaltender interference call against Palmieri. See if they can get some offense going here tonight as Matt Barzal cruises in, flips it over to Mayfield. Risks his shot that was blocked off the back of Gregory Hoffman. Sailed out through center, gloved that by Mayfield, kept it out of the zone. Comes to Anders Lee and moved for Matt Barzal. Barzal on the cutback over for Lee, settles and shoots, it goes wide.
Puck was bouncing just a hair.
Now it's Dobson with Lee in front, shot never made it through. That one caught Gavrikov in a bad spot, and he is down on his knees, struggling now to get to the bench. Got a little shove in the backside from Merzlikins, the goaltender, to help him towards the Blue Jackets bench.
Probably right on the ankle, Brendan. That's one area that he does smart a little bit.
Chara from a step shy of center ice, threw it into the corner. They wave off the icing. Voracek able to take it away, and then Andrew Peak couldn't hang on to it. Wallstrom's pass was behind Kiefer Bellows. Parise taken down.
Parise playing center on this line. I'm not sure how much center Zach has played in his career. I mean, he's a really smart hockey player, a great skater, good forechecker, very conscientious about what goes on in the defensive zone, so I'm sure he can handle it.
Ryan Pulock defended from the net. He's also babysitting tonight. He's got two youngsters on his wings in Bellows and Wallstrom. Here's Laine. Chipped over for Bjorkstrand. Back to Laine. Over, and Ryan Pulock was there as they tried to feed it for Jake Bean up on the rush.
Yeah, Ryan Pulock stayed right where he ought to be, protected against the pass.
Bjorkstrand driving wide, protecting the puck. Takes the lap out high to the net. That one was blocked and cleared out by Dobson.
A lot of block shots for the Islanders, which is a good sign about being in position. The bad sign is that you don't have the puck.
Similar story to the first period in Chicago from Tuesday night when they needed Sorokin to be their best player, and he was. Dobson got it as far as the red line. Werenski kicking at it. Had his pocket picked by Beauvillier. 3-on-1 back in. Beauvillier stripped from behind while Werenski on the back check. Now out for Green. Green with a shot. Wide. Picked up by Nelson. Sent in front. It was deflected on its way to Wallstrom. Wallstrom to Beauvillier. That one goes wide along the ice on the stick side. Green back around. Wallstrom on it again. Oliver Wallstrom tried to pull it off the boards. Was able to keep it alive, and Anders Lee off the bench just can't get there. It is Werenski on the clear. It's an icing. They wave it off. Islanders D were in a change, and they said close enough.
Apparently. Another good shift for Wallstrom, Nelson, and Beauvillier. So Wallstrom getting double shift a little bit.
Barzal with the steal. Lee was driving to the net, basically took it off the stick of Barzal and brought it to the goal.
That's it!
Roslovic using the middle of the ice. Found Yegor Chinikov. Sent in, bounced to the slot. It's still there, and Chara able to reach out and poke it.
Pretty good play by Chinikov there. A lot of confidence in that winger going down with speed.
Chinikov, just 20 years old, made his NHL debut on Tuesday in Detroit. He's the 21st overall pick from 2020. Not the most recent draft, but the one before that. They do have the 12th overall pick from the most recent draft. Sillinger dressed in this game.
Cole Sillinger, his father was Mike Sillinger, who had a good career in the NHL. Has a distinction, though, of playing with more teams than anyone else in the NHL, and I believe the number is 12.
That is the number, and that number includes the New York Islanders. And there weren't 32 teams back then either.
No.
12's a pretty good percentage.
He was a good player. He was a smart player, very good skater, good on faceoffs.
Oh, a sandwich hit that sent Robinson down to the ice. Cizikas got the best of him. Wallstrom along the boards. Sends it behind. Martin keeps it moving off the skates of Parise. Zach Parise finds Wallstrom, and that was blocked by Harrington. It'll wind up in the protective netting. Well, all of a sudden, there's a pretty good pace to this first period. Inside 9 minutes to play. No score. Of the NHL. It is a scoreless hockey game. 11 minutes gone here in period number one. Hey, you could win a pair of tickets to the Islanders-Pittsburgh game on November 26th and a Noah Dobson signed puck in the WBAB Islanders Player to Watch sweepstakes. Listen to Roger and JP on WBAB 102.3 tomorrow morning at 8:50 a.m. and call in for your chance to win. Remember, the WBAB Islanders Player to Watch tonight is Matt Martin.
And we want to watch the Matt Martin effect. Asked Barry Trotz about him, and he said, yes, listen, he pulls them into the game. The way he plays, the way he talks on the bench, in the dressing room, he forces everybody to play a very hard game, and then nobody can relax out there. And we saw that during the game where the effect that Matt Martin had, guys were getting out of the way, they were moving the puck quicker. The Cizikas line was very, very good, and it's all about the Matt Martin effect.
Off-season ankle surgery for Matt Martin. He missed most of camp. He missed the first 2 games of the season as well. Islanders are 1-0 with Matt Martin in the lineup. There's your Matt Martin effect. Here's Bjorkstrand. Carries in, nice move with a pass to Sillinger, and that shot was altered from behind by Adam Pelech. And an easier save for Sorokin.
Yeah, nice play by Bjorkstrand, but really played 3-on-2 by Adam Pelech. He's got to recognize that, Brendan, and keep that puck to the outside. He allowed a pass to go right by him, and too good a shot for the Blue Jackets.
Islanders made a change after that dump in and bring out Nelson, Beauvillier, and Bailey. They wave off the icing against Columbus, and the Islanders come through center. It's Josh Bailey. Nelson's flying. That drop pass, though, didn't connect. Andy Green pushed it ahead. Here's Nelson with a chance and a save made by Elvis Merzlikins. He did not allow a rebound.
Oh, and then how aggressive was he? Got outside that circle, but Brock Nelson with the good wrist shot took a little look on the 5-hole area. Gets his feet moving. Watch him. He's got his head up, and then he's just trying to slide it right by. Merzlikin is in good position. Here's what I'm talking about. It's a 3-on-2, and look at the move by Adam Pelech. That's not a good play. You got to recognize what's going on and then allow that puck to stay on the outside. That's a far less dangerous play than where the Blue Jackets eventually end up getting that shot. So part of as a defenseman, Brendan, you've got to know when it's 3-on-3 and when it's 3-on-2. You've got to be a lot less aggressive.
Nelson to Beauvillier. Took a hack there on the hands from Jenner. Play continues as it comes back out. Turning with it, Noah Dobson. Angled in by Josh Bailey. Merzlikin's out to handle it. Third-year NHLer Elvis Merzlikin's already signed to a 5-year extension that kicks in next year. He is the #1 goalie here in Columbus. Is line A with a wrist shot. Right into the crest of Ilya Sorokin. Down to 7.5 to play here in the first. Still in search of the game's first goal in Columbus. Plays for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Cole Sillinger, 12th overall pick in 2021. One of 2 18-year-olds that made the opening night rosters, and he's the son of Mike Sillinger, who played a couple of seasons and a few more games with the New York Islanders. Finished his career as an Islander back in 07, 08, 08, 09 with the Islanders. And
he was a good player for him, an assistant captain, so I had leadership and a very strong individual. And his son is a great skater also, a big guy, real strong-looking kind of farm boy, and they expect big things from him. And you did mention he's the youngest player in the NHL, 18 years old, competing with grown men. So lots of room to grow with his career, but he'll get plenty of ice time here.
And he was born here in Columbus. Columbus was one of the 12 teams his dad played for. Happened to be playing here when he was born. And so Cole's birth certificate says Columbus, Ohio, and he spent some time, obviously, in a few other places along the way, including on the island, as he was growing up. As this escape to Cizikas trying to clear it away with his hand, it didn't work, and the opportunity is thwarted for the moment by Matt Martin.
Well, let's hope that Cole stays in one team a little longer than his dad did.
Martin behind the back pass, head on to Cizikas. Gets it into the zone and gets it deep enough for the Islanders to make a change.
Yeah, nice poise there with Matt Martin. Just didn't throw it aimlessly. Looked over his left shoulder, took his time, and then made a nice little pass that allowed his team to make a change. Yeah, he's not just a tough guy, Brendan. Yeah, yes, he has that element to his game, but he does a lot of other things very, very well.
Palmieri. Mayfield to Barzal. Left it in the spot where Palmieri could skate into it. Strong on his skates. Pushed across for Anders Lee. Lee moves past Roslovic. Lee banks a pass to Pelech. Sends it deep once again. Barzal with a little bump there on Boquist to get the puck. Palmieri couldn't shoot it. Got it to Mayfield. Tipped in front by Lee. Rebound produced for Palmieri. Fed back in front. Palmieri circles the net and got another try. Barzal dusts it off. Plays to Mayfield with a wrist shot. Blocked down right there for Lee and pushed wide. Chaos around the net. Islanders controlling. Barzal trying to shake free of Boquist. He does. Now attacks again. Barzal curls to the boards once more. Thrown to the net. Juggled but held by Merzlikins. Good flurry by the Islanders' first line, but Merzlikins holds them off the board. We're back at it on MSG Plus, and the Islanders take on the Coyotes. Live coverage begins 8:30 with Islanders game night, then puck drops at 9 Eastern. Saturday on MSG Plus, presented by Mount Sinai, South Nassau, or stream it on MSG Go.
Now this is a pretty good shift for the Islanders, and you can see that line, Palmieri and Lee battling in front. Barzal, good step on in his game. And look at that in front of the net, and it's not just Lee in front of the net, it's Palmieri, and the puck retrieval for the Islanders was nothing short of sensational. So they had all kinds of opportunities. Point men love it when they get to shoot up the puck on the net. They're usually open.
Well, the line in previous years has been Jordan Eberle on that wing with Matt Barzal. Palmieri kind of brings a different feel to that line, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. He's more of a guy. Another penalty by the Islanders. Yeah, looks like Zach Parise is going to go off. But to get back to Eberle and Palmieri. Palmieri likes to be in front of the net. He likes the battle. He scores a lot of his goals from there. Not as much of a finesse player as Jordan Eberle was. Just a different style, but I think it really helps Anders Lee because it doesn't always have to be him.
It's Wahlstrom who's called for the trip, going for the puck, and down went Bo Twisting, so it is a power play for the second time here in this first period for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, those are always tough calls when it's questionable whether you're tripping him or whether he's tripping over your stick.
Off the draw and winds up straight on through. And Merzlikins will handle it again. Islanders are good on the faceoffs again tonight.
Such an important part of the game. I mean, it's automatic possession every time you win a faceoff.
Pretty good entry there by the Blue Jackets power play. Werenski over for Voracek. Werenski straight away. That one was blocked in front by Mayfield. That one came out of play and came back in. So the whistles came to them in a second, but they did. Bjorkstrand, Werenski, Jenner, Line and Voracek, the top unit for Columbus.
Good puck movement, as you mentioned. Good entry, so that allowed them to set up, run through their plays. Scott Mayfield immediately moved in front when he saw that shot coming from the point. Gets a good block on it. Good anticipation by Scott.
Anticipation there by Bjorkstrand to cut that pass off along the end boards. Mayfield trying to clear, got a stick near the hands, and then wind up working out for the Islanders as it eats a little more time off the clock. It's sent deep by Brock Nelson.
Mayfield was not happy, felt there should have been a penalty, as you mentioned, Brendan. That stick was around the hands, and that's called on many occasions.
He's still voicing his displeasure from the Islander bench.
Well, it was a turnover, and as it turned out to be, and whether it was Scott's fault or not, it could have ended up in the net, and that makes you just even a little more angry.
Werenski moves it to the wall for Voracek. Big Voracek with a shot, and that one off the right foot of Sorokin. Now Line steered to the top. Werenski sets up Voracek again. Voracek feathered it through to the front, and it fluttered off the stick of Bjorkstrand. Line took a hit from Nelson. Andy Green went to clear it, and he did.
Second chance opportunity for Andy Green. It's so important when you have that opportunity, make sure you get it down, you fan on it. That means you're spending more time in your own zone, Brendan. And then maybe you can't make that change you think you might need.
A couple of those killers have been out for more than a minute at that point. Now they're 4 fresh. As the penalty time reaches 17 seconds on Oliver Wahlstrom's tripping call. Over one-timer save. Sorokin, he left the rebound. Pelech was right there to take it after the blast from Chinikov.
Yeah, that was a good one-timer. Had plenty of time to tee that one up. But Sorokin in good position again, good reflexes. Now he's had to be sharp again. A lot of shot attempts by both these teams.
Power play is over. Islanders are 2 for 2 on the kill here in the first period. 3 minutes to go in it. They get it clear.
Let's see if they can take that in and a good penalty kill and create some offensive zone time.
Anders Lee couldn't spring Barzal. Blue Jackets back the other way, and good coverage in front by Dobson as he tied up the stick of Jake Bean.
Yeah, another turnover for the Islanders. Barzal's kind of mishandled it and allowed the Blue Jackets to go back in. There's Voracek, has Jenner in front of the net. Always there, and there's the one-timer and good reflexes. Lays the right flipper down, an easy save, and then that puck is gobbled up as Dobson does a good job of fronting his man. So Islanders doing some good things out there on the defensive side, but I'd like to see them spend a little more time in the offensive zone. They really haven't had that much play in there. A couple of good shifts, Barzal's line and then the Cizikas line, but other than that, not much happening out there.
Columbus coming off a 4-1 loss in Detroit in their last game on Tuesday. All 5 goals in that game scored in the third period.
2 of them into empty nets,
yeah.
So that wasn't as bad a game as the score might indicate.
Here's Barzal, couldn't bring it top side, comes out from the boards, makes a power move, then spins back on Laine. Barzal takes the slash, penalty upcoming here against Columbus's Patrick Laine.
Just a few slashes in. That's because you're trying to skate, you're trying to catch up to the guy, and then you take a needless penalty. There was no reason to do that. Barzal, who was one of the top guys and forcing people to take penalties last year, Brent, to do that. Slashing. That would be back in my day like a mosquito taking a run at you. I mean, just a couple of whacks here and there. You would hope for those kind of slashes.
So Islanders' first chance to go on the power play. The Islanders power play brought to you by your Tri-State Volkswagen dealers. Cleared ahead. Knocked down. It sets up for Sean Corrali. Thompson recovers to deflect that one over the glass.
And that's almost as good as not getting any shot as forcing a face-off. Now the Islanders with no momentum have to win a draw and then get all the way up the ice. So already 11 seconds gone and no ozone time.
Islanders 1 for 9 on the power play to start the season. Their only power play goal was Oliver Wahlstrom in Florida, and it had really nothing to do with a man advantage.
Yes.
The puck popped into a good spot. So still trying to get the power play working. They were 0 for 2 in Chicago on Tuesday. Matt Barzal spins back. Islanders looking for entry. Barzal gets it. Kicks it over for Palmieri. Palmieri double team. Barzal chips it back to Thompson. Switching sides of the ice, Anthony Beauvillier. Steered around. Barzal waiting for it. Dobson the option at the blue line. Barzal feeds it in front. It's deflected on net. Merzlikins made the save. I'm not sure if Anders Lee got that. That may have been off the stick of Andrew Peeke.
Good play by Barzal, who's playing the right side. Normally you see him on the left side, is offside on the power play, but that's a good smart play. Throw it through the crease. Anders Lee, look at the position he's got. I'm not sure, you're right, Brendan. I don't know if he got it or went off the skate. A little bit better look here. Well, that went off the stick of Peeke.
Another face-off win and a clear for Columbus.
Islanders are always good on face-off, but the power play, they're not as good, where they should be even better. You can cheat even more.
And no J.G. Pajot tonight. One of their better face-off men. Certainly Casey Cizikas is great on face-offs, but doesn't come out and take them on power play.
That's such an important element to a successful power play.
Ryan Pulock over the line for Brock Nelson. Got a little bit of daylight. Nelson carries it around. Had Parisi driving and sends out for Wahlstrom. Pulock settles it for Josh Bailey. Bailey on the move. Popping out is Nelson. That shot was blocked in front off Parisi's shin pad. Final minute of play here in the first period. Final 32 seconds on the power play for the Islanders, but it's skated out by Robinson.
Not enough work in the offensive zone there, Brendan. I mean, you got to win those one-on-one battles on the power play.
Frustrated Brock Nelson slams the puck to the boards after the whistle. And the Islanders will change back to that top unit.
The Columbus Blue Jackets had less men. And Robinson, as you mentioned, Brendan, with a good speed. Look at the reach for Ryan Pulock as he's able to put that stick out there, deflect the puck. But just the same kid, good jobs to prevent goals, not necessarily score them on the PK.
45 seconds to go in the period, 22 on the power play. As Thompson will chip it in, send Anders Lee after it, but Peeke got there first, cleared down again, and that'll pretty much do it for the Islanders' man advantage.
Yeah, that wasn't a good decision there for Noah. Nobody was skating for them. They were all stopped, so they couldn't win the race.
So Laine comes out of the box just as Barzal comes into the zone. Lee across. He had Palmieri breaking, but there was Sillinger in between. Couple of saves for Merzlikins on that Islander power play. Here's Nyquist, the other. Makes the save on Sillinger with just 11 and a half left in the period.
Yeah, good thing he didn't overplay that. He had, as I've been saying, he's been in control of the body, and he's going to go left to right. But look at him stop, and he's in control, able to protect that left-hand side. And One thing about Sorokin, he has a really good glove, makes a nice save. If you get moving too fast, Brendan, left to right, you can overshoot the play, and then next thing you know, it's in the back of your net.
Nice, the youngster, his first National Hockey League goal.
I don't know if Dad's here or not. He was here, they tell me, for his first game.
A lot of home games here for Columbus to start the season. And that'll be it for period number 1 in Columbus. Islanders got better as the period went along, but pretty low event hockey.
Well, some good moments, but not, for me, not enough good moments. Too much time in their own zone, and they took a couple of penalties. We talked about the Barzal line having a real good shift, and the Cizikas line and getting an opportunity, but not enough good scoring opportunities. The Islanders have got to be a lot better, play with a lot more pizzazz, I guess you could say it. Just get it into gear. They just haven't been able to find it.
Both teams with 11 shots on goal, which means both teams with 11 saves in that first period. Coming up, it's the first intermission report brought to you by your local Honda dealers. We'll have first period highlights. Shannon and AJ will take you through it from our MSG Network studios. Islanders and Blue Jackets in their first meeting of the season, scoreless through the first period of play on the road here at Nationwide Arena.
You're watching the Honda Intermission Report. Islanders' 13-game road trip continues tonight. They are in Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets, and so far, we have not heard that famed cannon at Nationwide Arena. We did have a chance to catch up with Scott Mayfield a few moments ago. Scott, thanks for your time. Scoreless after one period here. What's been the biggest challenge with Columbus so far?
Yeah, they're on us hard. They're putting pucks in deep and kind of playing our north game. They're getting in on us and then causing turnovers and getting the puck to the net. So we just got to make sure we clean our exits and get up into their zone.
I know you guys are used to playing with anybody that you're paired with, but what specifically do you like about playing with Adam Pelech?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good stick, great body position. He's always in the right spot, and we talk really well. We got to play a year together in the minors, so we have a little bit of chemistry, and we're just trying to figure out what works now and just trying to get wins.
Speaking of trying to figure out what works, what do you guys need to focus on in the second period and the third period to get a little more time in the offensive zone?
Just no turnovers, getting the puck up north and getting it in their zone. Kind of losing it sometimes in the neutral zone, and they're kind of jamming it back in our zone. Too much zone time, so got to play forward.
All right, Scott, thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way. To Intermission Report as you take a look at beautiful downtown Columbus, Ohio. Scoreless after 20 minutes of play. AJ Malesko will break down the first period action when we return right here on MSG Plus 2. Honda Intermission Report rolls on, taking a look inside Nationwide Arena as they are getting the ice ready for the second period action. Scoreless after one period of play. Hey, guess what? Season tickets are officially sold out, and the Islanders Reserve is the only way to ensure that your spot on the official season ticket wait list. The sooner you sign up, the higher your spot will be. Join the list today at NewYorkIslanders.com/reserve. AJ Malesko joining us now in our Honda Intermission Report. Before we get to that game action, I have to hear, the rumor is there's like 1,000 people on that wait list. Like, that's how pumped up people are for the new arena. So definitely get your name on the list just in case. You don't know when you're going to get those tickets.
Less than a month.
I know. It was like a month yesterday, I think. How about the first period action, though? Overall, what did you think from the Islanders?
Overall, building towards good. The first 5 minutes gave me a little bit of pause. They were on their heels a little bit, playing too much time in their D zone. It was only 5 minutes, but of course, there's, this time of year, we're just looking for everything. You want everything moving forward. I thought that as the period went along, they built on it. They created chances. I liked the way that some of the players were supporting each other in the offensive zone, in the neutral zone. In the D zone, they were chipping the puck out here and there, but they need to do it cleaner, as we heard Scott Mayfield say. And you look at this line here, Zach Parise playing center, which is not his natural position, not where he plays. He does an excellent job of getting down deep. And then look at where Oliver Wahlstrom is, up high, supporting the play, keeping it. He was trying to make a pass across there to Bellows. I liked the way that all the lines did it, but I really liked the way this line supported support each other. Look, they're in a triangle position here, and then Wahlstrom goes. They're working as a seesaw, and then the puck comes to the neutral zone. Watch this back pressure. It allows Andy Green to defend his blue line. It doesn't allow the Columbus Blue Jackets to come in and get zone possession time there. So I thought that was really good, the way that they were able to squeeze them off in the neutral zone and keep possession and keep moving forward.
Oliver Wahlstrom scoring 2 goals in the Islanders' win in Chicago on Tuesday night. Definitely one of the more noticeable players already throughout this game in Columbus tonight. And how about the captain, Anders Lee? He was also had a couple of good noticeable plays that you picked out.
Well, good to have him back. Of course, after missing a game in Chicago and, of course, missing the end of the season last year, very noticeable presence when he is not in the lineup. He's big, he's strong, and I think that you watch the way that this line plays. Matt Barzal, the setup guy, this puck's bouncing. Look at the way Anders Lee settles it and still gets a quick shot off. Really impressed by that play. This whole shift right here, this line was buzzing. This was in the second half of towards the end of the period. And look at where Anders Lee is positioned. Heels on the top of the crease. Perfect position for him. It's where he scores so many goals. Of course, he doesn't bury one right here, but I loved the way that he got right back in the mix right there. Look how strong he is. I would not want to be a defenseman trying to push him off the top of the crease. I love that, the way he plays there.
So the bottom line is, both of the videos that we showed you, we want to see more of that moving forward from the Islanders. And as Scott Mayfield mentioned, you said the same thing, moving forward, moving the puck forward and spending more time in that O-zone.
Yeah, and I think that, they had 2 penalty kills. The first one I thought was really good. Second one, they had to be disciplined. The Columbus Blue Jackets set up a little bit. But I think overall, 5-on-5 play, keep the puck transitioning, make sure that they're supporting each other like we saw in that first clip, so then they can keep the puck in the offensive zone, put the pressure on, and make the Columbus Blue Jackets tire out, make some bad decisions, and hopefully capitalize.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Honda Intermission Report. Get your single game tickets now at NewYorkIslanders.com/ticks. It's now time to check the line presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. All right, stay glued to the TV. Butch and Brendan take over with puck drop in the second period at Nationwide Arena. That's coming your way next.
It's time to look at tonight's NHL Indeed player resume for the longest tenured Islander, Mr. Josh Bailey.
Yes, he's had an outstanding career, and after a slow start, he's really come on strong. But he struggled a little bit in this opening part. I mean, Josh, we know how effective he can be, and he's an important cog on the power play and his line with Nelson and Beauvillier, but he hasn't got his game up to speed like a lot of his teammates, so I know Barry Trotz is looking a little bit more for him to give us what he is quite capable of, and we know what that is. He's been great in the playoffs over the last couple of years. And perhaps he's thinking a little bit like a veteran, where the dance is still 6 months away, and he's conserving his energy. But there's so much parity in the league right now, Brendan, that you just can't do that. So Josh Bailey and company need to pick their game up, and sometimes easier said than done. But certainly Josh Bailey is an integral and very, very important part of this organization.
If Josh Bailey enjoys a very healthy season here, he will hit 1,000 games. He starts the season 81 games away from 1,000. So very end of the season, we could see a special night for Josh Bailey.
A little celebration there for Josh, and anytime you can spend 1,000 games in the National Hockey League, you're doing something right. Survival is sometimes difficult, and you're right, you got to stay healthy, and you got to have ability.
Andy Green scheduled to hit that 1,000 game mark November 15th if all goes well for him as well. He is also scheduled to turn 39 on October 30th.
We won't be seeing that from the Z-Man. He's already got there about 5 years ago.
Adam Pellick will swing this around. Speaking of birthdays, happy birthday today to Islanders general manager Lou Lamoriello, 79.
Yeah, and he was talking to him earlier on, and because he feels great, he looks great, and he said nothing. All he wants for his birthday is a win from his Islander team, and that's not a whole lot to ask for.
And since we don't have the game tomorrow, happy birthday to Butch Goring as well. His birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, and I told Lou all I want for my birthday is a cup, so we're on the same page.
All right. Coming out of the corner as the Islanders work it deep on the opening shift of period number 2. They play it down for Barzal. Quick turn on Corrali. Barzal finds Anders Lee without looking at Anders Lee. Anders Lee returns it to Barzal. Had a little bit of space, makes a move on Corrali. Regains possession of the puck, works around. Corrali doing everything he can, spins down Matt Barzal, and the second time tonight, Matt Barzal has drawn a penalty. This is a cross-check against Corrali.
Yeah, that's one of the new cross-checks that they're calling, where you cross-check just above the pants, and so that's kind of in the kidney area, Brendan, the rib area.
Columbus number 7,
so
2-minute minor, cross-checking.
Yeah. And see, there it is, just right above the pants, and they're going to call that one all the time. You could call that the Scott Mayfield rule if you like.
Well, what they do, which is they actually cross-check the top of the pants and throw your balance off. And it's effective in knocking you down, even if you don't try and hurt somebody. So the second Islanders power play of the game, and it's brought to you by our Tri-State Volkswagen dealers. Pulock to Bailey. Bailey looking for a seam pass, looking for Parisi in front of the net.
You know what, Zach would love to be able to get his first goal of the season for his new team.
Here is Oliver Wahlstrom. His shot knuckled around in front and pushed off to the corner. Here's Ryan Pulock able to waltz in with a shot. Parisi jumps out of the way and Merzlikins makes the save. Pulock again, over for Wahlstrom. Wahlstrom to the net, rebound chopped wide. Wahlstrom again putting it in a good spot. Merzlikins made the save. Islanders continue to work on the power play. Tipped in front, ricochets away. Nelson is there, angled back to Pulock.
Good power play for the Islanders, getting the puck to the net.
Pulock down for Nelson and handcuffed him. Peak trying to clear, and he will.
Wholesale change for the Columbus Blue Jackets as well as the Isles, but that was a good power play. They didn't get the result they wanted, but certainly the puck went to the net, and so often we keep saying shoot the puck. Well, there was no hesitation there for the Isles.
So halfway through it, Islanders switch units. Barzal, Beauvillier, Lee, Dobson, and Palmieri. Palmieri across, Barzal tracks it down with a step on Bean. Barzal curls off to the corner instead of trying to bring that one to the net. He finds Palmieri. Palmieri twisting and looking for Anders Lee.
Anders Lee was open, but a couple of would-be checkers in front of him.
Barzal to Lee. Lee to Dobson. Back down for Barzal. Barzal draws some attention from Nyquist. Dobson fakes it, gives to Beauvillier the one-timer, blocked by Werenski and then cleared. 10 seconds left on the Corrali cross-check. But at least a better look to that Islanders power play.
It looked like a power play, Brendan. So often, particularly in the first game we saw, it didn't look like a power play. That was a much better effort by the Isles. And some attempts, some puck time in the offensive zone, and some quick puck movement.
They got 2 shots on that power play as Matt Martin comes in and throws it in on Andrew Peak. Islanders did not have a hit thrown in the first period from a forward that didn't play on this line as Matt Martin rips a wrist shot off the blocker of Merzlikins.
Clutterbuck with a partial screen as he rolled through the middle of the ice.
Cizikas trying to twist his way through Peak. The rookie who played 11 NHL games last year. And a penalty coming here.
Cizikas for the hook.
Against the Islanders.
Yeah, anytime you reach in and get your stick caught up in the midsection of the puck carrier, you're going to get hurt.
2 minutes, hooking.
And that's a double whammy for the Islanders with Cizikas, a penalty killer, but there's the stick right there, and then he gets it up again. You can't even use strength as a factor for you anymore, Brendan, even if you put your stick up in that midsection.
Blue Jackets win the face-off to start their power play. This pass to the middle comes to Bailey instead. Tried to clear it down. It was slowed up, and it comes to Brock Nelson instead. Nelson, little move that enabled him to get a shot on goal. Glove down and kept moving by Elvis Merzlikins.
And Nelson kept him honest, didn't he?
He certainly did. Dave Voracek steps over the line, kicks it to the boards for Boone Jenner. Blue line, Werenski across for Patrick Laine. Snapped down for Voracek. Started his career with 3 seasons here in Columbus, then to Philadelphia, now back to Columbus, exchanged for Cam Atkinson during the offseason. Voracek sends it across in Laine's direction. Voracek again. The blue line for Werenski, bobbled it and nearly gave it away with Nelson nearby. This one knocked down by a high stick. Nelson will take his time coming over to it and then play it back, eat some more clock as it's sent down by Scott Mayfield. Halfway through the power play. Cizikas is in the box, so he can't kill, and no J.G. Pageau tonight. Making this kill a little more difficult than it would be under normal circumstances.
Nyquist with a nice entry for the Jackets.
Boquist gives it off. And there's a rocket of a shot that came through from Chinakhov and handled by Sorokin.
A nice rebound for the Jackets if they had been in a little different position. Yes, that was a good hard wrist shot. Getting it to the net, making sure it didn't get blocked.
Igor Chinakhov's pass off Boquist's stick into the corner. Polak trying to clear. Knocked down by Roslovic. Jack Roslovic makes his move. Nyquist a shot save made in front. Escorted away from the crease by Ryan Polak. Out of the box comes Casey Cizikas, and he's got a beat on this puck, and he reps it into the glove of Merzlikins.
Good hustle by Casey coming out of that penalty box. Merzlikins was able to handle that wrist shot. Now this kid here can really shoot the puck. I mean, Chinakhov, he just rips it. Good save by Sorokin. Got his head up all the way, knows exactly where he wants to go, and then the right flipper, and then Nyquist with a little shot. Not sure if that ever gets all the way to the net as Mayfield was in the way, Brendan, but good penalty kill again by the Islanders. A much needed kill after a power play opportunity for that team. And
Anders Lee won the faceoff. Barzell throws it his way. Lee digging away. Pops free. Helped out. It's Wahlstrom on this line here with Barzell and Anders Lee after the penalty killing just a moment ago. Ryan Polak the blast save made. Anders Lee's follow-up try is chopped over the glass. Islanders a couple of chances after an offensive zone faceoff win. We are still scoreless here in Columbus. Tonight's Cadillac Trivia question. Tune in to see tonight's Cadillac Trivia reveal and tweet your answers to hashtag Cadillac Trivia. Brad Larson, new head coach of the Blue Jackets. We want to know who was their first head coach. Tweet your answers, hashtag Cadillac Trivia. Brad Larson paid his dues as an assistant coach for 7 years on the bench before he got the head coaching job. You know, when he got hired in AHL Springfield with really no head coaching experience, a young guy, this is 9 years ago at this point, they decided they needed somebody to help him on the bench that had some head coaching experience. And they found an AHL head coach who had recently lost his job by the name of Jared Bednar. Come join his staff as an assistant coach. And when he got promoted, Brad Larson got promoted to the NHL bench in Columbus. Jared Bednar took over as the head coach of the AHL affiliate. Won a Calder Cup, and now he's the head coach of the Colorado Avalanche.
High expectations there.
Sillinger kicks it over, and Sorokin makes a save on a good look from Alexander Texier.
An odd man rush there by the Islanders. Haven't had many. There's been a couple of odd man rushes, and the Islanders got to be very much aware of that.
This one skied out of the zone off the glass. Tracked back down by Kyle Palmieri. Palmieri back in his normal spot with Lee and Barzell after Oliver Wahlstrom took a shift up there following the penalty kill. Sent in by towards Anders Lee. But quickly the Blue Jackets break out, and it's Line A.
Yeah, that wasn't a hard enough forecheck for the Islanders there. That was too easy for Werenski to carry that puck out.
Barzell got it out of the zone. Voracek shoved by Mayfield. Werenski overskated. Matt Martin picks it up, floats it over towards Palmieri, but Andrew Peak backpedaling to play it. Werenski had a delay to get Voracek out of the zone, and he did so nicely.
Voracek was lollygagging on the way out, Brendan. That's why he had to hustle the last couple of steps. Possibly cast Werenski an opportunity to better offensive situations.
Matt Martin finished his check on Peak. And now it is Roslovic. Played ahead for Voracek. Nyquist driving. Cizikas on the back check. Lifted the stick of Peak. Turned over at the line, but it comes to Andy Green. all the changes that have been made on the defensive pairings in this hockey game. It reunites Dobson and Green, who have been so good together over the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, no surprise for me. I mean, Chara and Dobson were together most of training camp and looked pretty good, but in the 2 games to start the season, they did not have good games. And you know what Dobson and Green did last year? They were very solid. So Barry Trotz making a change, and a good change.
Roslovic wrestled off the puck. Wallstrom around the back of the net. Texier chips it deeper. And Zach Parise turns back around to alleviate some pressure. 9 minutes gone here in the second period. Islanders and Blue Jackets still in search of the game's first goal. Barzal slips on through. Rims it around Parise's way. He'll let it come to the line. Chara dealing with the linesman there through the whole thing offside.
Yeah, he was right in the way where Chara couldn't get his stick in front of him. You can see the Blue Jackets. This is an odd man kind of rush as the Islanders get caught with 3 men up the ice. Good save by Sorokin. Ryan Pulock in decent position, but they're trying to, looks like they're trying to throw that puck just over the right flipper. I've seen a number of shots that Sorokin has been able to catch with that pad of his, but another 2-3 inches, perhaps the Blue Jackets might have a goal.
Ryan Pulock testing Merzlikins from the red line.
Yeah, you cheating?
There's a chance, and Josh Bailey couldn't handle that pass in some prime real estate.
One of the better opportunities for the Islanders for this particular line, who hasn't had much going for it.
There's another chance off the turnover. Dropped off Beauvillier. Dealing with Robinson there. Nelson, Bailey, touchdown. Beauvillier has to travel to it. Dealing with Scott Harrington. Down to his knees, Beauvillier.
Where's the help? Where's the second man? A little slow getting there.
Nelson and Bailey both came at the same time. And then the puck came across the slot, and it's cleared out.
Yeah, that's what this line's lacking. When they're really going, they're forechecking hard. They have good support. They're not the second or third person in. The defenders are beating them.
Anders Lee is Palmieri driving. His attempt came back to him. He's able to bulldoze the puck back over for Barzal. Tight turn by Barzal, anticipated by Harrington.
Good call there. He was waiting for him to cut back.
Robinson back around for Corrali. Short pass, but didn't get enough on it. Slowed the whole process down, and it's Mayfield driving, backhanding, score! Scott Mayfield banks it in off a defender through Merzlikins, and the Islanders have broken through.
Yeah, it might be Anders' Lee goal. He had a stick in there, Brendan. Not sure. You're right. You could certainly be the right call, but a nice play by Mayfield as he anticipated and pinched in, and then no hesitation at all. Took it right to the net. Watch the top of your screen as Mayfield's going to come in, but Anders Lee is also going to be there and coming in. Oh, you're right. Good call on your part. That was Mayfield's goal.
Right off the stick of Sean Corrali.
Oh, good 5-hole shot there by Corrali. Yes. But Scott Mayfield with good anticipation on the pinch. As Al Arbour used to say, you pinch to keep the puck in. That was the perfect example of executing that pinch properly.
The Islanders get the first goal of the game. It comes more than halfway through. And it comes from Scott Mayfield. His first point of the young season.
Big goal for the Islanders.
It'll be an unassisted goal for Mayfield since it was knocked in by Corrali. I think it would have been an unassisted goal either way because it was wrapped around the boards, and Mayfield was the one who started that play.
Yeah, exactly right.
Another unassisted goal. 3 of the 4 goals the Islanders scored in Chicago on Tuesday were unassisted. This one coming at 10:35 of the second period.
Now's the time to get a little push going for the Islanders and see if they can't stretch this lead and kind of take the Blue Jackets out of their rhythm.
Gavrikov for Line A moves it over. Sorokin kicks it away on the try from Voracek.
Yeah, that was a tough save for Sorokin as he was going right to left and almost overplayed the shot a little bit. As Liney waited a bit, Brendan hesitated and was looking for Sorokin to keep going left.
Icing on the play. Time now for our 4-goal replay as we go back to the Mayfield tally.
Yeah, thank goodness we got a goal. You know, 4 goals. 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 4 But look at the move by Scott Mayfield and that long reach, and Cirelli's got his stick down, and that's a catch-22 because Lee's there. So if he doesn't play it, Anders Lee maybe bangs it in the net. A lot of celebrations going on there, and you always want to get your first goal of the season. Don't want that zero there for too long, and everybody will harass you after a while if you don't have that zero off the board.
Well, he's halfway to his total from last year. He scored 2 in 56 games during the regular season last year. The Islanders get it deep. Barzal, then Wahlstrom. This one tapped around and Pollock to the net. That one tipped by Wahlstrom, and Merzlikins made the stop. Barzal for Chara. That one knocked out of the air by Zach Parise. Islanders double shifting Barzal here again. No J.G. Pajot tonight, so things are a little bit thrown off. We haven't seen a whole lot of Kiefer Bellows tonight, although he is dressed and available on the bench.
Well, he hasn't had a whole lot of ice time.
Played 3 minutes and 28 seconds of ice time, so not your normal Barry Trotz rolling 4 lines tonight.
No, and when you do get ice time and you're trying to establish yourself on one way or the other, is you've got to make things happen. And if you're a ghost out there, Brendan, and the coach doesn't have a lot of patience or a lot of confidence.
Mount Sinai South Nassau in Oceanside is ranked among the best in New York and high performing in 8 categories, including heart failure, orthopedics, and urology. We find a way.
First game of a 3-game homestand for the Blue Jackets. 4th game of a 13-game season opening road trip for the New York Islanders. Islanders with a 1-0 lead. Here with 7 minutes to play in the second. Wahlstrom couldn't clear it. Chara knocks it down. Second smack at it. Stopped by Roslovic. Roslovic to the front for Nyquist. And as that puck went off his stick, he hit the deck. Wahlstrom gave it away right near the blue line, and the Blue Jackets take back over.
Chinakhov could have kept that puck in, Brendan, and elected to take it out. Maybe he wasn't aware where the blue line was.
Peak snaps it all the way over for Nyquist, who missed all of last season, recovering from shoulder surgery. This one sent over towards Anthony Beauvillier, chipped on, trying to get past Andrew Peak. Comes up the boards instead for Bailey. Good feed for Mayfield, kicks it to his stick, back down low for Nelson. Nobody on the back door. Pelech with a shifty move sets up Nelson. Save Merzlikins. Beauvillier back on goal. Another stop by the Columbus netminder. Beauvillier on it again. Circling the zone. Nelson, rink wide. Mayfield hangs onto it. In front for Adam Pelech, tipped on goal. Adam Pelech getting lost in the coverage down tight near Elvis Merzlikins. He's done his job, holding the Islanders to just 1 goal so far. This summer on the Lennox was struck with a fireworks display at the house of goaltending coach Manny Legacy of the Columbus Blue Jackets and died from his injuries at 25 years old. A touching ceremony on opening night with Kivlenek's family in town for the drop of the puck. His young sister there doing the honors. They did a really nice job putting his number 80 on the ice behind the nets. It is now hanging in the rafters here at Nationwide Arena, and it was worn that night by his good friend and somebody he calls a brother, Elvis Merzlikins, who is in cage tonight, back in his normal number 90. But such a tragic event this summer and a life lost way too soon in Matisse Kivleneks, who will live on here in Nationwide Arena in Columbus. We got a penalty off that.
Columbus, number 93, 2 minutes, tripping.
Called for the stick between the legs of Kyle Palmieri.
Well, I don't think that was a dive, and you got to try and move your feet once you feel the stick in between your legs. And Voracek, obviously a veteran hockey player, and trying to work the referee just a little bit there, Brendan. But nicely said about the goaltender. Yes, tremendous tragedy. What the field for his young family.
Cleared down by the Blue Jackets as the Islanders get another chance on the power play. 3rd power play for the New York Islanders. As Palmieri drops it off for Beauvillier. They're 0 for 2 so far, but look better on their most recent power play. than they have really in most of their power plays so far in this young season. They've scored just once on 11 tries, including tonight.
They struggle to maintain control in the offensive zone. That's their biggest problem. Last time we saw them, they were able to get in and establish themselves and move the puck extremely well.
As Barzell weaves his way into the zone, tried to go across the ice for Anders Lee, and it hit his skate. Clearing attempt held in by Noah Dobson. Barzell takes it a little bit higher to the blue line and gets it back from Dobson. Barzell with a shot save made by Merzlikins, blockered away to the wall, and nobody home for the Isles, and an easy clear for Robinson, but he does not get it all the way down.
No puck pursuit on that power play. Everybody's standing around watching.
Here's Barzell in the middle of the ice. Open is Beauvillier. The one-timer gobbled up by Merzlikins, sliding to his left.
Yeah, he was there in a hurry, wasn't he? He squared away to the shooter, Beauvillier, and that was right in the breadbasket, and that tells you that the goaltender had the perfect angle. Nice little pass, good support. Nelson, Barzell, and then Anthony Beauvillier, and look at that. I mean, that's just perfect positioning, and that's life easy for the goaltender.
27-year-old Latvian Elvis Merzlikins.
Long-term contract, too, just recently.
5-year extension that kicks in next season. As Josh Bailey tried to return it to Nelson, didn't connect there. Nyquist clearing attempt, held in by Ryan Pulock. Good keep. Wallstrom then coughed it up as he tried to make a move to the middle of the ice. 15 seconds left.
Hard to stick handle when you have really no room at all. That's when you got to just make sure you get it into the hole and let your line mates help you out.
Wallstrom. And a poke checked at the line by Bean.
Barry Trotz will not be happy with that play.
Forecheck out of the box. Parisi on the steal. A collision knocked down Texier. Here's Clutterbuck. Parisi to the net, and the pass was there. But Bean lifted the stick of Parisi. It came back on goal as Merzlikins was searching for it. Texier to the boards for forecheck.
This is a makeshift line here, isn't it? Nelson, Parisi, and Clutterbuck.
Bean had it taken by Pelech. The end of the power play, and some guys have changed. This one lifted ahead. Parisi trying to get there ahead of Bjorkstrand. Takes the body. Bjorkstrand overskated the puck. Clutterbuck comes in with a hit, but can't come away with the puck, and it's Sillinger taking a stick from Cizikas right around the throat, and a penalty as a result. A high sticking call against Casey Cizikas will send the Blue Jackets on the power play for the 4th time tonight. Blue Jackets headed on the power play, high sticking against Cizikas.
And he just comes out, reaches up, and that stick rides all the way up. And Texier makes sure the referee sees it, but you know, again, keep skating. You've got the angle on him. There's no reason to reach in. You know, you just sometimes you think you can get there and maybe make a difference, but ultimately it puts you in a bad spot. And Zeker's such a good skater that just you got your defenseman standing right there, Brendan. It's an easy angle.
Whiff on the one-timer from Voracek. Second minor penalty taken tonight by Casey Cizikas. As Josh Bailey comes in shorthanded.
Josh Bailey getting more action on the PK than he normally would, with Cizikas been in the penalty box a couple of times.
Laine trying to walk on through. Mayfield having none of that, and it's cleared down once more.
Laine does that a lot, and I've watched him over the last couple of games, and he has a propensity for turning that puck over just inside the blue line.
Patrick Laine, his first 4 seasons in the NHL, 36 goals, 44 goals, 30 goals, 28 goals. Last year, just 12, and only 10 after the trade that brought him here to Columbus in 45 games.
Yeah, he's talked about how he wants to be so much better this year. He knows he had an off year.
Bjorkstrand over for Werenski with a shot that's blocked by Pelech. Boone Jenner on the retrieval. Comes to Laine. Patrick Laine. Voracek, Werenski. Back to Voracek. Fed it through, they score! Oliver Bjorkstrand got a tip in the slot past Sorokin. A power play goal to tie it for Columbus.
Well, you keep taking penalties. Eventually you're going to pay the price, and Just a good wrist shot by Werenski. Lots of traffic in front. Bjorkstrand was in front, causing a distraction, as was Jenner. And there's the tap right there. Turn around, and the Islanders can't get back to the front of the net to help out. And a nice deflection. And did that hit Jenner's stick too, Brendan?
I think it did. Yeah, this might be Jenner's goal. They were both there.
Yeah, they absolutely were, and we'll find out who scores the goal at the end of the day, but it doesn't matter who scored it. It's 1-1. Fans are thinking it was Boone Jenner with the Boone.
Either that or they don't like power play goals.
Yeah. But it looked like at the end there that he was the man that touched it last.
Sillinger with a nice drag move with the backhand and stopped by Sorokin.
Yeah, you need a big shift right now, period coming to an end, and you need it from the Islanders, not from the Blue Jackets.
The power play goal late in the period for Columbus has tied things at 1. Mayfield the goal for the Islanders, and they score again! And it's the rookie, the 18-year-old Cole Sillinger with his first goal in the National Hockey League.
And you know, you could see that one coming, Brendan, a mile away. The New York Islanders were so methodical in that play in their own zone. There was no jump, no energy, and the Jackets just took complete control. And at the end of the day, Sillinger all alone in front. And look at the battles. Look who's winning the battles. I mean, the Islanders were slow to get there, and 2 men going at the same guy, and not good enough coverage. Palmieri trying to get back hard, but just very poor defensive coverage in their own zone. And like I said, not enough urgency, and minute to go, or minute and 20 seconds to go, and the Islanders not good enough in that sequence.
Islanders up 1-0, cruising along. They take a penalty. They give up 2 goals in 33 seconds, and now they trail 2-1 with just about a minute remaining in the second period. They announced the goal to Bjorkstrand. That's the first one. We do think it'll be Boone Jenner's when all is said and done. The second one belongs to the youngest player in the NHL, Cole Sillinger. Here's Kiefer Bellows getting free. He's got Beauvillier driving. The pass is knocked aside by the back-checking Jake Bean. 48 seconds to go in the period. That one slowed up by Beauvillier. Dobson will skate into it and send it back into the Columbus zone. Merzlikins with an athletic play out of his goal to stop it. Gavrikov. Ahead now taken by Zdeno Chara. Ryan Pollock snaps one over for Cal Clutterbuck on the cutback. Clutterbuck trying to get it deep. Tied up with Voracek. Here comes Friedrich. Casey Cizikas tried to center, blocked down by Bean. The pass to Chara makes him reach for it. It comes out to center. 10 seconds to go in the period. Cizikas back in. Floats it down for Clutterbuck. 5 seconds to go. Clutterbuck chips it right through the paint. Taken and cleared by Voracek. And the second period comes to a disappointing conclusion for the Islanders. They had a 1-0 lead late. They give up 2 goals in 33 seconds and go to the third period trailing.
Yeah, pretty good period for 18 minutes, and the Islanders were able to get a 1-0 lead, had plenty of opportunities, and looked pretty solid out there. And then they took the penalty, gave up the power play goal, and then really fell asleep in the last minute and a half as Columbus took advantage of their slow play, methodical play, and now they leave the ice with a 2-1 lead. So Islanders will have to forget about what just happened and bring one of those good third periods we've so often seen.
Coming up, it's the second intermission report brought to you by your local Ford stores. Visit buyfordnow.com today. Shannon Hogan, AJ Malesko standing by from our MSG Network studios to talk about period number 2, in which all 3 goals were scored. The first one from Scott Mayfield, unassisted. The last 2 for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 33 seconds apart. They lead 2-1 after 2.
This is the Ford intermission report. In the second period, Islanders scored a goal, but the Blue Jackets answered with 2 quick ones, and now the Islanders trail by 1. Had an opportunity to catch up with Anthony Beauvillier as he was coming off the ice. Bo, after your team had most of the control there in the second period, does it feel a little bit like a lost opportunity going down a goal heading into this intermission?
Yeah, I think, you know what, we worked hard that period. We had chances. I would say we were in control of that period. We were on top of our game. We had good kills, good looks in the power play, and it's unfortunate. I think they kind of got the lead in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game here. So, I mean, it's going to be we're going to need a big 20 again.
Butch was mentioning that there was a lack of discipline and urgency, especially in those last couple of minutes. How hard is it to keep that up for a whole 60 minutes? I mean, it can be exhausting to have that kind of fortitude against a team like this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have a good lineup. They work hard. They're hard to check. They're physical, so we got to be on top of our game. I mean, it's all about us. It's all about what we do, and obviously you got to be better a little bit. We kind of let loose here in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the period, so that can happen. But we have a veteran group, we have character in this room, so I'm not worried we're gonna be better in the third.
All right, Bo. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way. Still some time to play here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, here in the second intermission report, there is still 20 minutes left as the Islanders will try to catch up and surpass the Columbus Blue Jackets 2-1 after 40. AJ Malesko joins us with her take next. Brendan, about the cannon, that maybe we wouldn't hear it this game. I was really kind of like hoping that would be the case.
Superstition. Right?
Yeah, you know, I was
say it or not say it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping we wouldn't hear it, but twice in that period, and disappointing really to enter the intermission down a goal.
Well, and also just not the fact that we heard the cannon twice, but in 33 seconds towards the end of the period, no less. So just the sequence of events, and as you mentioned, coming into the intermission here and going into the third period. Overall, it felt like it was going to be a good period for the Islanders. Their special teams has been pretty good. Their penalty kill solid. Cizikas has taken 2 of their 4 penalties though, and that's tough because they need number 53 on the ice to kill penalties. Reminder: they also don't have JG Pageau, a huge penalty killer for them, so they got to stay out of the box.
Yeah, you want to be able to build momentum off of those PKs. You don't want the momentum to switch the other way. But you have to say, is it Rihanna that does the work song? I feel
Sing
like
it for us.
No, I won't, because the people at home want to continue watching this show. But that's what kind of came to mind when I was watching Anders Lee. And it's hard to believe. I mean, he was under the weather a couple of days ago, and to come back and have that energy and drive and to really be battling the way he has, it's been impressive.
And you got to wonder also, you think about how long he was out with that knee injury. He's hungry to be back, to miss a game with that bug or whatever he had on Tuesday. He is back and he is ready to go. And we talked about it a little bit in the last intermission, how hard he is to defend, how tough he is, how big he is. He's so strong on his skates. This is a power play that they have here. This is exactly where he plays on the power play, but just keep an eye on him. Number 27, he's right in front there. He is tough to defend, and he's good at retrieving the puck. He comes in, they work well. He's got his head on a swivel. Look at the way he uses his body. He uses his length. He's not the tallest player, but he is so strong and he's so effective that if I'm a defenseman and I'm playing against him, you just know that it is going to be one of those difficult situations. You got to set your feet, you got to set your base, and he's still probably going to get the puck from you.
Through 2 periods, he's played just over 11 minutes, and I think we'll see plenty more of the captain here coming up in the third period. How about Scott Mayfield? We talked so much in his first intermission about the Islanders' defense and pushing the puck forward and what they needed to do, and there you go. He scores a goal.
I like it. You interview him, and then he says, push the puck forward, and he pushed the puck forward just the right amount. It was a really smart play by Scott Mayfield. He talked also about the new D pairs, playing with Adam Pelech. I love the way all the D are pinching. The shift right before this, and Pulock had jumped in too. But watch the way Scott Mayfield reads this play. He's got number 50 in blue right in front of him. Bemstrom, his back's to him, so he recognizes that he's vulnerable. He steps in, takes that blind side, and he's able to get the puck on net. Of course, he gets a little bit of an assist there with the puck going off of the Columbus Blue Jacket defender. But still, the fact that he's able to step, pinch, get the shot on net, and as Butch and Brendan talked about, Anders Lee was there for the tip if the the defender didn't put it in. I really like that play. I love when our defensemen jump in the play and are aggressive.
One of the themes we've heard from the players, of course, in this game, and Barry Trotz is always saying they need to pay attention to what the Islanders are doing. But I somehow feel like the word discipline might be part of the game plan as they head into the third period.
Well, and when you were just interviewing Anthony Beauvillier, too, he talked about how big they are, how strong they are, how physical the Columbus Blue Jackets play. So the Islanders have to counter that with physical play of their own, but disciplined play. They cannot stand in the box for any longer. They're doing a good job with their kill, but it screws up all their lines. And coming off of a penalty kill, you can see how Barry Trotz has to shift all his forward lines, his D pairs. He wants to play 5-on-5, and as he said in years past, he knows that they can play with anybody 5-on-5.
As always, great insight with AJ Malesko. She'll be joining us for our post-game coverage as soon as this game is over. Stay right here, but there's still some hockey to play at Nationwide Arena in downtown Columbus, Ohio. We'll be right back with the Forward Intermission Report after this. Presented by FanDuel Sportsbook, make every moment more. The lights are getting ready to come up at Nationwide Arena, and that means we're inching closer to puck drop for the third period action. Brendan and Butch take over on the other side of this break.
Mount Sinai, South Nassau in Oceanside. We find a way. 2-1 Blue Jackets start of the third period. The second period scoring summary is brought to you by Hyundai, and they have officially changed that Blue Jackets goal. Scott Mayfield unassisted, the only Islanders tally. Boone Jenner gets credit for his third of the year on the power play. It was, in fact, a double deflection. Voracek shot it. Bjorkstrand gets an assist on the first tip. Jenner gets the goal on the second tip. And then 33 seconds later, Cole Sillinger, his first in the NHL, and a 2-point night for Oliver Bjorkstrand, who got an assist on that goal as well.
And I'm sure we'll see a whole lot more from young Mr. Sillinger. Good skater and driving to the net, and recognizing there was an opportunity, and that's a good sign for a young player to understand the game.
His dad was here for the first couple of games this season. Team went to Detroit. Dad went home, and so Dad is not in the building to see his first NHL goal, but I'm sure he is watching.
I'm sure he is. Yes. And congratulations to Cole and the entire family.
Rookie of the Year in the USHL last year for Sioux Falls. He had been playing in the Western Hockey League with Medicine Hat, but with COVID and the uncertainty of the Western Hockey League and really the whole Canadian Hockey League system last year, he decided to play close to home and play in the USHL and was the Rookie of the Year in that league.
That makes sense. 17-year-old going against 19 and 20-year-olds.
You don't know how this season will end up for Cole Sillinger, as this shot is blocked by Clutterbuck. But how about just having a chance to win the USHL Rookie of the Year and the Calder Trophy back-to-back seasons?
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt Martin flipping this one out off the glove of Cal Clutterbuck. Islanders had a decent second period of play, but took a late penalty and then followed up the shift after the goal with not the greatest effort and find themselves trailing 2-1 to start the third.
Horrible period. Horrible shift, Brendan, after the goal was scored against them. And as you and I were talking, I barely got that out of my mouth that the Islanders need to have a shift that's...
This one laid down in front, and it's taken by Sorokin as Cole Sillinger is wrestled away from that. He was sniffing for another one.
And the Islanders have got to take charge of this period, and Barry Trotz talked a little bit about it, showing some urgency to their game and blocking out, but just, you know, it's just as important, Brendan, not to get scored on as it is to score a goal, and you can just see that the Blue Jackets are sniffing a little bit of a win. They're off to a pretty good start in their season. Expectations are not very high. We got a very, very young team. Got rid of a lot of their former players. You know, there's no Atkinson, no Dubinsky, no Dubois, no Foligno, no Anderson, just to name a few forwards. And you were talking about Jones and Savard. So, I mean, this is a team and really, as you would say, trying to revamp its organization.
Change coaching staffs as well, although Anthony Beauvillier getting loose and had a poke check by Merzlikins as Beauvillier was dealing with Nyquist at the same time.
Nyquist needed to get a nail and sort of stab that puck there.
Tipped in by Josh Bailey. The Jackets have a whole new coaching staff, although they do have a familiar face back in charge. President of Hockey Operations John Davidson, after being let go by the New York Rangers, comes back to his old job here in Columbus as Palmieri tries to spring Barzal. Matt Barzal with speed. The puck was rolling and he fired it wide.
Oh, a good shot by Barzal, just above the pad. Just missed the net, but a good attempt.
This one came free for Patrick Laine, who was ahead of the pack. And so he waited for help from Voracek to dump it in.
Lou Lamoriello was talking earlier today about puck is shot up over the guy's head. Why do they try to knock it down with their stick? And just watch Ryan Polak just trying to do that. Brings a whistle.
Anders Lee with a shot. It was blocked. It came back to him, fluttered towards the goal, and punched away by the blocker of Merzlikins. Lee and Werenski. Now it's Roslovic. Sailed on through. Andy Green cuts it off before it enters the Islanders zone. Parisi. Soft pass on through, tapped by Wahlstrom, but not to Dobson.
It's like Parise's playing center on this particular line.
And they put him out with Wahlstrom and Bellows. It's been Parisi who's moved to center. We haven't seen this line a whole lot intact tonight. We'll see it here early in the third. Bellows will be in on the forecheck. Second game of the season for Kiefer Bellows, who spent all last year on the taxi squad, played just 14 games at the NHL level, did not appear in a game in the American Hockey League.
Yeah, that's a tough season when you're not playing any hockey. I'm not sure that's the best thing for your career.
Wraparound try by Robinson off the left pad of Sorokin. And a shot by Bear, guided away from the net by Sorokin. By Bean, not Bear. We saw him already on opening night.
Yeah, we did.
Bean came from Carolina, which is where Ethan Bear now resides. So this is shot in as an icing against the Isles.
You know, the Islanders haven't started out with that bang that they need. It's a good opportunity there for Anthony Beauvillier, but overall, they just look a half step off, don't they, Brendan? I mean, I just don't see the real good rhythm from this team. And a lot of it starts from their own zone. You make that good first pass, and then everybody's skating on their way up the ice. And if you continue to throw it along the boards, then it just like that, it just never seems to get anything going. Everybody else is behind. And
a little bit of a chaotic changeover as the Islanders are trying to sneak players off and on. Cizikas had broke his stick on the face-off. He was trying to get a new one. Ultimately, it is trapped there right in front of the Blue Jackets bench. Comes free, and Polak changes sides of the ice. Islanders scored 3 goals on opening night in a 6-3 loss at Carolina. Just one, and it was a power play goal in Florida in game number 2, a 5-1 loss. They scored 4 times in Chicago on Tuesday in their first win of the season. Tonight, 1 unassisted goal by Scott Mayfield. As Ryan Polak intercepts a pass intended for Boquist, who had pinched in, and it's Polak rushing ahead. Drop for Palmieri. Palmieri drags and shoots, and getting in front of that was Boone Jenner. Polak steers it down for Barzal. Puck was rolling, settles it. Barzal taking a look, goes to the net, tapped wide, back behind. Palmieri racing to it. Chara had pinched in. The pass went through Barzal. Skates. Dobson collects. Driving on the backhand. Off the paddle of Merzlikins. Martin couldn't angle it on net. Dobson throws the brakes on and hits Barzal with a pass. Andy Green going to the goal. Barzal finds some space and he scores! Matt Barzal, with great patience, found an opening and puts it under the bar and in.
And a tremendous play by Andy Green as he comes off the bench, and then he sees Barzal cutting to the middle, and he acts as a blocker. Watch this play, and there he is right in the middle of the ice, creates a little opening for Barzal, and he goes up in the toy department. What a great shot, but that might even have went off the stick, really, of Bean. He gets his stick out there, but it's all in all still a wonderful shot. But what a play by Andy Green. I mean, you talk about a veteran move, creating time and space for Barzal to use his quickness. And the Islanders have come out and scored a huge goal.
Give some credit to Matt Martin as well.
Yep.
He was holding his ground in front of the net, making life difficult for Bean, for Merzlikins, for everybody down low in that zone for Columbus, and the Islanders have tied the score here at 2 early on in the third period.
Well, let's see if they can have a strong shift after scoring a goal, playing the other team's end, get a little momentum going, shift after shift.
Matt Barzal has led the Islanders in points for 4 consecutive seasons. That is his second goal of the year. Still awaiting his first helper. Josh Bailey with a sneaky shot off the left arm of Merzlik. It's picked up by Beauvillier. He will drop it for Mayfield. Mayfield on the move. His shot off the stick of Laine. Comes to Bean. Short pass to Werenski. Back Werenski. Hanging on to the puck, chased after by Beauvillier. Pelech stepping up, dealing with Voracek. Kick back, and Barry Trotz coming right back to Matt Barzal. Barzal and Lee on the ice with Wahlstrom for the moment. Barzal having to wait as he regathers, gives to Mayfield. The pass was out of the reach of Barzal, comes back to Columbus, and Scott Harrington.
Scott stopped skating and then tried to make a pass. And got to keep those feet moving.
Barzal, but offside here as Wahlstrom couldn't get back out of the zone. Islanders get the early goal in the third period to tie it off the stick of Matt Barzal, his second of the year.
This man here with a great shot has tied the game up, but Barzal has the great edges. He forces people to draw penalties. That's the second one by John Corrali, and earlier on it was Patrick Laine. But look at the edges on this guy. Boy, oh boy, I wouldn't like to check him for very long because that would have been tiring, but he has such good speed, good shot, and he's been a factor tonight as he usually is. And there's his shot up in the toy department by Matt Barzal, and a beautiful play, as I mentioned, by the veteran Andy Green. And the Islanders have got themselves back in the game.
The goal reads Barzal from Matt Martin and Noah Dobson at 5:03 of the third period. That had evened things up here in Columbus. Brendan Burke, Twitch scoring with you from Nationwide Arena. Fourth game of the season. Islanders trying to get their record back to 2-2. Back to 500 at 2-2. Here's Bjorkstrand the other way. Off the bar, short side on Sorokin.
Well, that was a terrific shot by Bjorkstrand. They just did a video of him, funny thing, Brendan scoring goals and almost obliged the video.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he is a good player. He's led this team the last 2 years in goals, I believe, and he knows where that net is.
Got a new contract in July, 5-year deal for Bjorkstrand. 18 goals last year, 44 points. Career high in points despite the fact it was a 56-game schedule for Oliver Bjorkstrand. Dano Chara gets back to his feet, wrestles it away from Corrali. Teammate of his with the Boston Bruins. Andy Green and Zdeno Chara together for the moment. Played on for Cizikas, took the hit and just couldn't connect with a passing by Cal Clutterbuck.
He has to get that deep, and then it's 2-2 game, and you're standing still trying to make a play. And that's not what that line's about, not creating offensive opportunities. Their game's about getting it in deep and forechecking. I'm sure Matt Martin and Clutter will be saying, Zeke, just get it in deep. Create your opportunities, don't try to make your opportunities.
8 minutes gone in the third period. Ilya Sorokin. Sure that one doesn't sneak past him. He's been good again here tonight. Islanders have gotten good goaltending. The last couple of games with Voracek and that taken off his stick by Adam Pelech, and he made it look easy.
The dreaded long stick that he has. They didn't have the Islanders, that is, didn't have great grab control. That's why they created a little problem for themselves. Voracek should know about Pelech. He's played against him enough.
Patrick Laine. That one's blocked by Pelech. Off the glass, it stays in. You know, Laine's one of those guys. He certainly has his flaws, but he can shoot the puck, and he's a threat from anywhere on the ice.
Anytime he's on the ice and you give him an opportunity, a golden opportunity, then you're giving yourself a chance to see the puck and have to dig it out of your net.
Keep in from Ryan Pollock, Barzal, Lee, and Palmieri with another shift here as Nyquist trying to leave the zone. Pinching in is Pollock. He's knocked down. Puck squirts free, and Andy Green comes to it. That's Barzal in his own end. Pollock, stretch pass, perfect pass on for Anders Lee. Couldn't navigate around Andrew Peak from his knees. All three Islanders were in a very close proximity, and the puck came away from them, and it's Bean with the opportunity for the Blue Jackets. Jake Bean with a shot, and that was blocked by Ryan Pollock before it got to Sorokin. Off the glass, chopping at it was Beauvillier. It came to Barzal. He's got Bailey. Barzal denied by Merzlikins.
Good read by Merzlikin. Got that blocker out there. That's a smart play by Barzal. Really had to make a tough pass over to Josh Bailey. Bailey was on his backhand. Barzal was on his backhand.
Is that part of the maturation of Matt Barzal, a guy who seemingly thinks he can pass it to anybody in any situation? That time he didn't force it?
Yeah, he really has. I mean, he wants to pass the puck, but you're right. He's understanding that there are times and places to do both. That is shoot and pass. And that was a good decision in my opinion.
Save made by Sorokin on the sharp angled chance for Adam Boquist. Islanders have it tied at 2 halfway through the third. The third period in Columbus. Here's tonight's hashtag Cadillac Trivia answer. As you see, Brad Larson, the 8th head coach in Blue Jackets history. Our question is, who is the first head coach in Blue Jackets history? Dave King was number 1.
I didn't have that.
Here in Columbus. So you have stumped us. Can you stump us, the experts? Tweet your own question to hashtag Cadillac Trivia. 21 years ago, birth of the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2000. Dave King was the first head coach.
Did a lot with Team Canada. Dave King coached over in Europe. Quite a coaching resume.
9 minutes to play here at Nationwide Arena, which has not been kind to the Islanders in the past. Last 7 games between these two teams here in this building, a lot of panic. Islanders have won just 1 of the last 7, including 2 of the last 7 games here. One of them in overtime. Here's Anders Lee with a shot that's dropped down by Merzlikins and made it a little more interesting as it's cleared away from the net. Thompson racing to it, gets there just in time to keep it in the zone, but it comes right to Sillinger.
They kind of flubbed the clearing play.
Sillinger for Bjorkstrand. The backhand from Bjorkstrand. A rebound was left by Sorokin. Nyquist had a whack at it, but it would not go. Bean rips it across for Werenski. Push here by the Blue Jackets. Werenski tried to go to the forehand. It's off Sillinger's stick. Nyquist was tied up by Anders Lee. Now it's Bean. Over for Werenski. Blocker saved by Sorokin, out of play. That went out of play.
Yeah,
it hit the netting. They're going to play this one out. It's something that could be challenged if it winds up in the net. Hopefully we don't get that far. I'm going to just get it clear here. Left side, Werenski thrown to the net. Off the side, wrapped around. It is Bjorkstrand.
Yeah.
Bjorkstrand. Easy for me to say. Anders Lee will get it out.
Easier for you than me, I know that. Yeah, that hit up in the netting, and the whistle should have been blown, but it was not. Oh, no.
Biggest hit of the night for Barzal, just on Josh Bailey.
He knocked him down.
Bailey tried to go across the ice for Brock Nelson. Never made it.
Need a little push by the Islanders here. The Columbus Blue Jackets have stepped their game up a little bit. Islanders and turnovers in their own zone. And that was a good shot there by Laine, and you talked about it, Brendan, when he's a dangerous guy if you give him a good opportunity.
Home crowd here on their side for Columbus, something the Islanders won't have in their favor until the 20th of November. 13-game road trip as this one deflects in, and a nice stop by Sorokin as he tracked that redirection.
Yeah, he took it all the way on the ice level and just protected himself. Made sure he had all the bases covered there. The Islanders coming out of their own zone a number of times there, Brendan, just aimlessly threw it up over the boards. So I said, you got to make direct passes to allow your forwards to have any kind of a chance to make something happen.
Another Bellows.
Oh, that's a terrible call. That's a terrible call. Sorry, I've been pretty good tonight, but that's an awful call. That one, I think Bellows actually might have been ahead. If not, it was a dead even race.
Adam Pelech lobbying for a face-off at center ice, but
yeah, not going to get it. Take a little look at this again and get the puck towards the net, and Merzlikins couldn't handle that shot by Anders Lee, there's another just throw it at the net, and you're right, Brendan. I mean, Sorokin couldn't quite find the handle on that. Plenty of help from his teammates.
That was the 5th time tonight the Islanders have iced the puck. Columbus has not been called for icing in this game.
Let's have an awareness.
Mayfield wanted Pellet, it just overshot him ever so slightly. Comes back towards the line, shot by Boquist. Mayfield had his man tied up. Down on the ice, Svechnikov. This is Gavrikov. Svechnikov, and in on net, Sorokin will move it to Green.
Puck needs to go on a stick.
Tapped in by Matt Martin. Cal Clutterbuck going for a run. First goal of the season for Clutterbuck on Tuesday in Chicago.
Yeah, that was a beauty.
Don't sleep on his shot. This one comes free. It's Gregory Hoffman. Made his NHL debut opening night at 28 years old. He's wearing number 15. He's from Switzerland. Finally gets a chance to play in the National Hockey League. This one left behind at center ice. That was Hoffman. A hustle play to keep it on the Islanders' half of the ice.
The Islanders, their handling of the puck at times has not been very good. They've been very loose on their stick. Again, another kind of turnover just inside the blue line, and seen a lot of that in this third period, particularly after the Islanders have scored that goal. It's just not good decision making and not very solid play. Got to be a lot more firm.
Into the final 5 minutes of regulation time. Score tied at 2. Islanders led 1-0, gave up 2 goals in 33 seconds. Towards the end of the second period, Columbus was up 2-1. At the start of the third, Matt Barzal has tied it. That goal came 5:03 into the third. Gavrikov with a shot, never made it through. Pulock and Nyquist were engaged there at the side of the net. It's in their skates. Pulock comes away with it, wraps it up the boards through Gavrikov. No icing here.
Yeah, there's a good break for the Islanders. Spending way too much time in their own zone in this last 6 or 7 minutes.
Barzal overskated. That was anticipated by Mayfield. Here's a chance for Anders Lee. Winds and fires. Merzlikins made the save. Islanders caught Columbus in a change. Columbus had 7 guys on the ice and broke back to the bench to avoid a penalty. The first save made by Merzlikins, and the follow-up try stopped as well.
Good anticipation. I believe that was Mayfield who read that play. Mayfield or Green, I'm not sure. Right-hander. And that caused the confusion for the Blue Jackets.
Bailey out of the reach of Mayfield. Beauvillier will double back. Here's Pellet for Bailey and tipped in.
The Islander defense have got to start moving their fence to feet, Brendan. I mean, they're getting the puck and they're just standing still trying to make a pass up the ice. Got to move your feet. You're going up the ice yourself.
Chara throws it up the boards. Anthony Beauvillier had Werenski retreating, and as he tried to chip it by him, he put a little too much air underneath it, put it right into the Islanders bench. 3:16 to go. Still tied at 2. Stay tuned for highlights, analysis, and player reaction on the Mercedes-Benz Islanders postgame show. Coming up next, Shannon Hogan, AJ Malesko standing by. Will we get to them in 3:16, or will we need a little bit longer?
Certainly the Islanders would love to score a goal, but they'll take it in overtime. That's a point. And there's the good move by Mayfield as he's able to read that play, steps up, and Anders Lee gets a shot at Merzlikins. Blue Jackets goaltender makes another good save.
Played by a high stick as he comes through on Sorokin. And he covers up for the whistle. Another defensive zone draw for the Islanders. 3:10 to go.
Face-off win and help. As Hoffman's able to help his centerman out, and then a puck bouncing around. Well, you get down to this point in time, Brennan. I mean, you secure the point. That's what you do. And get that red line, and unless you've got an odd man rush, chip it in and play the chip and chase game. And try to force the Blue Jackets into a mistake.
This is Cizikas needed a little repair to his helmet. Got it, came all the way back in, gets thrown out of the face-off anyway.
Yeah, a good right-hander wins that draw, and that's Clutterbuck, who's very strong on his stick. And
Islanders have won more than 50% of the face-offs tonight. Right about 56%.
Did you know you can still place live bets during the game? From props to over-unders, make every moment more on the FanDuel Sportsbook app.
Cizikas still chatting with the linesman about getting tossed out of that face-off. As it's an offensive zone draw, Cizikas will get a chance to take a breath. Nelson, Wahlstrom, and Parisi the line out for Barry Trotz offensively.
yeah, a lot of different line combinations for Barry tonight with no Pajot. Pajot takes his share of the ice.
Such a versatile player. Play in all situations. One of their best face-off guys. Penalty killer. He's a tough guy to play without. He is out with a non-COVID related illness, which is the same diagnosis we heard when Anders Lee missed the game on Tuesday. As he talked about the stomach bug that he dealt with, we're assuming it's similar in nature. This one blocked by Dobson right off his right hand. He was shaking that in some discomfort. With 2.5 to go here in the third, Blue Jackets get a shot towards the net. That one tipped up and out of play. Dobson still favoring that right hand.
He'll get a little rest. It's like the change in defense. Adam Pelech will be out.
That was the one that got through and off the shaft of the stick of Ilya Sorokin.
Scott Mayfield.
Thompson, that right hand, got a run on the palm of the hand, it looked like, on the previous shot. Islanders win the face-off and get it cleared. Closing in on 2 minutes to play. Shots on goal, 34 for the Islanders, 30 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Matt Martin gets it deep. Cizikas ties up with Gavrikov. In comes Cizikas with Clutterbuck. Martin not too far outside that pile-up.
Look how 5 guys down low for the Blue Jackets in this play, so making sure that nobody walks out of that corner with the puck. So it's basically a 3-on-5.
If it squirts free, watch out for Scott Mayfield, though.
Yeah, he's wide open. If for any reason they can get it back to Pelech and then back to Scott Mayfield. Matt Martin says, well, just give you a little push here and there.
We got a rugby scrum in the corner here.
Yeah, blow the whistle. I mean, to me, this is a waste of time. Oh, there we go. He must have been listening to me.
Yeah, he still hasn't blown it yet.
He was thinking about it.
He's getting a closer look. Now they've seen enough.
Yeah. Well, nobody's going to move it. I mean, and if I'm the Blue Jackets, I'm not moving it. I'm going to pin it right up there, and the Islanders are not going to give up position. And so there's 10 guys who said, well, we did our job. Let's get off the ice. So
Brandon Schrader was the referee that had a very good view of that scrum and let it play out longer than they normally do.
Yeah, exactly right.
And with every second ticking towards a point in the standings for both teams, we're down to 1:25 left.
Well, Barry Trotz puts his offensive unit out there looking to see if he can find a way to score a goal.
Pelech over to Mayfield. Tees one up. It was on edge and went off to the corner. Barzal trying to shove it down the boards, dealing with Bean, Anders Lee, and Palmieri, and Barzal all there. It's Bjorkstrand instead for Nyquist. Back to Oliver Bjorkstrand. Got a hand in both Blue Jackets goals in the hit delivered by Anders Lee on Nyquist.
Yeah, that's the way it should be too. You finish your checks.
Lee forces it out of the zone as we enter the final minute of regulation time.
Now they'll have some time, and Scott Mayfield can make a good play here. Got plenty of time to make something happen.
Mayfield needs a change. He's been out there for 1:40. As he's able to skate to center ice, get it deep, he'll head off the ice. Everybody fresh. That they're hoping for as this is across the line on the stick of Nyquist.
Yeah, I'm not sure why there wasn't anybody on that left boards for the Islanders. I mean, it was pretty obvious what was going to happen.
Barzal with the loft pass towards Palmieri. Gavrikov will play it back to Merzlikins. The goaltender, 20 seconds on the clock. Boone Jenner floats it over the head of Anthony Beauvillier. Chara sends it down the ice. Could be icing. It is icing. 9, call it 8.8 on the clock.
And he got Brock Nelson on the face-off. He'll be on his weaker side. Now you have to make sure where everybody is. on this face-off, and make sure you know your assignments. They've talked about it, so they should be all set. See what the Islanders love to put that defenseman in behind them, and this is more traditional play.
Nelson went to the wall. Laine turns it out high. This one shot off to the corner. 5 seconds to go. Werenski steers it back behind. 2 seconds and 1. Pinned by Pulock, and that will do it for regulation time. So the Islanders come back from down a goal in the third period. Matt Barzal got it tied 5:03 in. And the Islanders have earned a point here in the fourth game of the season. 3-on-3 overtime coming up from Columbus when we come back here on MSG Plus 2. Ilya Sorokin stopping 28 of 30 Columbus Blue Jackets starts during regulation. They will need a little bit more for him. There you see Merzlikins' numbers over Ilya Sorokin, and there is Elvis Merzlikins. This is not the first overtime game of the season for Columbus. Their second game of the year was against the Seattle Kraken, and they won that game by a score of 2-1 on a goal from Patrick Laine.
You can see Sorokin's record right there, 3-1 in shootouts, and in overtime games 6-3. So he likes these type of scenarios, likes the excitement, likes the pressure. It's a fun time out there, 3-on-3, and who was it that had an unbelievable game the other night?
Rangers and Canadiens.
Yeah, that was, my goodness, that was nuts.
Rangers and Maple Leafs, my apologies.
Yeah, Rangers and Maple Leafs, and that was nuts. Shesterkin was crazy good.
Lots of open ice, 3-on-3 here in overtime. Nelson, Beauvillier, Pulock for the Islanders, Jenner, Werenski, and Bjorkstrand for the Blue Jackets. Sorokin against Merzlikins. 5 minutes on the clock, already winding down. Sillinger.
Bounced over his stick.
Anthony Beauvillier takes over, looking for something to present itself. Beauvillier took a shot that knuckled in on net, off the glove of Merzlikins, and Beauvillier tracks down his own rebound, gives it across for Ryan Pulock, who will pull it out to center ice. Islanders will get Matt Barzal on. Anders Lee is getting ready to join him and will. Here it is, Matt Barzal with a path to the net. Here he comes, the cutback, twisted wide as Werenski got involved.
He didn't have much of a shot there.
Here's Anders Lee with a chance, a broken stick on the block from Sillinger. Now two Blue Jackets have a stick, and the Islanders have the puck. Here's Barzal. You can hear them barking from the bench to let Matt Barzal know that Sillinger doesn't have a stick. Barzal trying to switch the matchup. Gets it on for Pelech. Pelech to Barzal. And try and make Sillinger get involved with the puck carrier here as they crisscross it. It's Anders Lee. This one thrown off of Merzlikins, stick off the glass, rescued here by Bjorkstrand, up ice with Werenski. Here is Werenski, and Bjorkstrand with a second chance, chopped it high. Barzal had gone down in the net. Sorokin still resetting himself. Werenski whiffs on the one-timer. Werenski's been out there, so has Bjorkstrand the whole time.
And the Islander guys have been out there for a while now.
Laine scores! Patrick Laine rips it past Sorokin, and the Blue Jackets win it 3-2.
Yeah, that's the shot we've been talking about the whole game. When you give him an opportunity, he's going to score on you. And Merzlikins makes a couple of big saves. The Islanders had their opportunities. And I don't know if there was they're looking at an offside play here. The bench hasn't cleared yet for the Islanders. But what a shot by Patrick Laine. And he just, all in one sweeping motion, zips it by the goaltender Sorokin. We'll take another look at this, Brendan, but didn't have a lot to do tonight, Patrick Laine, but that's why he's on this team, because he can score those goals.
2 goals this season for Patrick Laine. They've both been overtime winners. Cool.
Well, that's a great shot, and they'd just give him a little room. And I'm not sure if Sorokin just lost his net a little bit there. Here, check the angle. No, that's just a great shot. Just right above the pad and zipped right up. And Anders Lee just couldn't keep up to him. And those situations, Barry Trotz talks about having layers, and it looked like Anders didn't get a whole lot of help in that situation.
Matt Barzal had slid into the goal a few minutes prior, and I'm not sure Sorokin was all that set for that shot. A rocket of a shot from Patrick Laine that ends the game. Saturday, we're back at it on MSG Plus. The Islanders head to the desert to take on the Coyotes. Our live coverage begins at 8:30 with Islanders Game Night. Coming up next, it's the Mercedes-Benz Islanders post-game show with Shannon Hogan and AJ Malesko. For Butch Goring, I'm Brendan Berg saying goodnight from Columbus. Blue Jackets win it 3-2 in overtime over the New York Islanders.